what I wanted to talk about, which was actually why marketing is so critical right now during this COVID-19 era. It's so critical. And I want to talk about a couple of ways, so a couple of reasons why you really need to be paying attention to your marketing if you're an entrepreneur. This is not the time for just spam engagement, for just posting helpful articles from other people or linking articles from other people, to be honest with you. I'm not saying that that's always bad. It's not. But primarily what we want to be doing right now is really targeting the people we help with the help they need. And this is an excellent time to be doing it. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it, why it's an excellent time to do it in just a second. But first, as I'm testing the Restream platform, I want to make sure it's working on my YouTube, because I don't think it was working on my YouTube. It is. It's on there. Okay, good. All right. So a couple of reasons. I just jotted a couple of quick notes here. I'm just going to go through them very quickly. One of the biggest things that has happened during COVID-19 is social media advertising has gone through the floor in pricing, meaning it's cheap. What I used to spend on a pay-per-click type thing on Facebook, say I was averaging anywhere from $2 to $8 a click. That's a pretty wide range, but typically $2 to $4 a click. I'm now getting down to like 59 cents a click, based on, well, I'm doing better audience targeting for one, but a lot of it is just the ads are cheaper. Just the pricing is cheaper. I've never seen social media advertising so cheap. By the way, it was cheap before. It's the cheapest form of advertising known to man, but it's really, really cheap now. The good news about that, guys, I'm talking to the entrepreneurs out there, is if you're like, I want to learn social media advertising, but I don't really have a lot of money to spend. Now's a good time to actually jump in and learn it, because you're going to spend money to learn it. You're going to lose money, so to speak. You're going to get an education by trial and error. And so now's the best time to do that. It's kind of like, hey, when's the best time to go into trading in the stock market? Well, when stocks are cheap. I learned how to trade in the stock market by trading penny stocks. So you really want to learn social media advertising with cheap Facebook ads. Waste some money, but get a cheap education. Now's the best time to do it. It's just never been better. Also, not just getting the education, but now is a great time to run ads you wouldn't normally run to test audiences. Meaning when you go into Facebook and you're creating these different audiences that you're trying to target, don't just create one big audience. Like, create a bunch of little audiences so we can understand the differences between each one. And that can get a little bit costly, not real costly, but typically if you're running an ad for, say, $2 a day to reach all these little audiences, you could probably get away with doing that for $1 a day now. Or where I used to spend $5 a day on each audience, $1, $2 a day, you can test those audiences. And the engagement happens pretty fast. So within 4 days, 5 days, you can typically validate whether or not an audience is good. So you end up spending $20, $30. You could validate 5, 6, 7 audiences. Why does that matter? Well, when I go back in and run ads to those audiences, they're already validated. You don't want to validate your audience by just running one ad if you can help it. Now, if you can't help it, or you're just learning how to make and run an ad, one ad is fine. But really, you want to run multiple ads to multiple different audiences and validate those audiences. And as those audiences prove to be true audiences, you want to target your best ads to them and retarget the people who engage over and over and over. That's strategy. That's the stuff we talk about in my private client group that I was mentioning in the last broadcast. strongholdtraining.com/PCG for private client group. If you want to know more about that, I teach you how to do all that. But what I'm here to tell you is that now is the time to do it during COVID-19, because it's so cheap to learn this stuff. So if you want to spend $100 in a month and throw that at Facebook and validate a few audiences and have a couple of ads proven to work, you could probably do that now, where it used to cost you a little bit more, quite a bit more to do that. All right, second point. Right now, webinars as a marketing tool are better than I've ever seen them. So when webinars first got popular, so let's say 6, 7, 8 years ago, you could have a webinar and really it was a great sales tool. Then everyone started doing it. Now a lot of people have even gotten away from webinars. They're just doing videos like this, called an on-demand webinar, just a video that you subscribe or register to see. That's all it is. That works really well. Well, When no one could go to live events anymore, literally I threw webinars out there, would have 100, 150 registrations overnight because the engagement was so high. Now that's starting to come back down, but if you have great content right now, you should be helping people with webinars or on-demand webinars or even just videos. It's tremendous the engagement you can get right now if it's helpful. So if you've thought about exploring that in the past, now that should be a part of your marketing for sure. And here's basically what I'm trying to get at. Now more than ever, you can build your business by helping people because you can reach people much easier. If you have a way that helps people, instead of just talking about what you do that helps people, actually begin helping them. And the best way to do that is with these webinars. I would use Zoom webinar. It's the easiest thing to use, or even just a Zoom meeting. But you can have that and get people engaged in that. And that's different than just having a video like I'm doing right now. Doing a video I'm doing right now is great, but if I have a webinar that people register for, I can follow up with them and continue to offer services and discounts and things like that to them. So right now, webinar engagement is an awesome thing to be doing during COVID-19. Great opportunity right now for that. And last, and definitely not least, as the economy's taken a hit, if you provide a valuable service, there's actually a chance you're more in demand than you realize. When the economy's going really well, consultants and entrepreneurs and trainers, people that provide usually some sort of helpful information service, consulting service, or just really any service at all, sometimes suffer. You would think people would buy that stuff more, but not necessarily. Some of us do better when the market goes down because people get a little bit more sober to their need for help and a little bit more, desperate for help, to be honest with you. It's humbling when what was going so well suddenly isn't. So I can't say that this applies to every business out there, obviously. But for many of you who are worried that the downturn of the economy is going to hurt you, you may find that you're actually more relevant and more in need, but more importantly, that people are more willing to listen. So what do you do about it? Well, this is the big point, the title of the video. Your marketing needs to demonstrate this. This isn't the time to sell harder. It's the time to help harder. Get out there and prove you can help people. How do we do that? By marketing. How do we do that? By using social media, by using video, by using email, by using web content to actually help people and engage with more people because they're sitting there able to be engaged with. They're more likely to be online. We've got to do it. Now, hear me on this. The goal of this is not just to flood the airwaves with helpful content alone. You also need to be able to have a call to action that brings them into your sales process. It needs to be clear that you can not only help them, but you can help them now and they need your help. And this is what step they need to do next. So if you're interested in me helping you do that more, you can go to strongholdtraining.com/PCG. Check out my private client group. A very affordable, completely online way to get help during COVID-19. And if videos like this are helpful, then you can just like, follow, and subscribe. And I'll be putting a lot more out in the near future. So that's what I wanted to talk about in the last video. Hopefully you found that helpful. Get out there, create helpful content, and point people to your services. And I think it's a great time to do that. I'm extremely optimistic about the future right now, even in all the craziness that's going on. And I hope to see you guys on the next